Well, it's not quite NTT IndyCar race weekend, but it is an NTT IndyCar race week. And you know what that means. When they race, we race here first. It is time for some top split action in the 2025 IndyCar iRacing Series Special Wednesday edition. Hello again, everybody. I am Gary Gottsam. Welcome to round 10 of the 2025 season for the IndyCar iRacing Series as we come to you from Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. Happy Canada Day. Happy 4th of July early. To those of you that celebrate, if you are American, welcome to the broadcast. Welcome to Mid-Ohio. As always, joining me. Now, they don't have their Independence Day, I believe, until September, but they're still going to, they don't really need much of a reason to party down in Mexico City, is Antonio Estrada. Antonio El Patron, good to have you here. Welcome to Mid-Ohio.
Likewise. Thank you so much, Gary. Yeah, it's always good to be back at Mid-Ohio. And yeah, happy 4th of July weekend for pretty much everybody. Hope you have a great time as we're gearing up for an awesome race here. I can imagine. Mid-Ohio is one of those very technical tracks that are difficult to pass on, and a lot of it's gonna have to come down to strategy on making sure when to pit, keeping your fuel number, hitting your marks, etc. So I think we're in for a treat. And last time we were at Road America, and although they kind of seem a little similar, at a glance, they are so different from one another. This track is very narrow as opposed to Road America, which also has fairly easy corners, and here you have a ton of blind corners, off-camber stuff, and you're gonna have to modulate the throttle a lot. So yeah, I think we're in for a treat, and we don't really need a reason to party, so we're probably joining in that as well.
A lot of rapid up and down undulations here of the course, and of course these cars do not like it when that happens, so we're going to see a lot of situations that these guys will not really get a chance to drive through until really this race on for this schedule year. But we're getting ready to go racing here as we just went official. And we actually have the nice, full, long pace lap here, so we have plenty of time.
I won't need to rush.
No, not at all.
Well, we've got teammates on the front row. How about those Fiercely Forward guys? They're 1 and 2. It's going to be Kevin Desnoyers with the pole. He did a 1:06.3, and he's going to be joined by his teammate Kevin Burrell, 1:06.44, and very, very quick around this place. That means you kind of have to be sensitive to every single corner. That's not an easy feat. Starting third in the second row, that's going to be Jacob Oster, 1:06.4, and joined by Phil Krause, 1:06.5 for him. It's going to be very fun to see how this race develops for him. In row 3, we have Ethan Morris with a 1:06.9, and joined by Hunter Engram, a teammate of mine. Nice to see him here on the top split. We actually have a lot of faces that we typically don't see because this is not our traditional time slot. So good to see Ethan Morris. I've raced with him in a couple of Indy 500, so he's pretty good at these cars and pretty quick, as evidenced by his lap time. Moving on to row 4, we have Blaze Andrick, another teammate of mine, 1:07.2, joined by Logan Edwards, who's going to be starting 8th. Row 5, Anna Kalemic. They did a 1:07.3, joined by Connor Paris, 1:07.3 as well. Most of the field is in that 1:07 bracket, very, very close together, so it's going to be very interesting to see how they manage that through the race. Starting 11th, the Hyperstar, it's Brendan Lichtenberg, 1:07.3 for him as well, joined by Ethan Agan, 1:07.4. He's going to be starting 12th. Then we have Jason Brophy, former Pro Series driver. He's going to be starting 13th, joined by Shady Ahmed on row 7. And Moving back a little bit to row 8, we have Matt Taylor, joined by Caleb Brashear. In 17th, it's Kevin Bujalasa. I hope I'm saying that right. If I'm not, please let me know that I'm butchering the name. That's what we do here.
That's what we do. That's our claim to fame.
But Kevin's going to be starting 17th. He's joined by Daniel Gomez C. And as we have mentioned before, you're probably going to see only a C. Well, that's Daniel Gomez.
Right.
He's going to be starting 18th. Starting 19th is Joao Barbosa joining us from Portugal. And he's joined by Thomas Van Kirk. He's going to be starting 20th. We have Will Weiser going to be starting 21st, joined by Hamilton Barrera, starting 22nd. Andrew Wood starting 23rd, joined by Kieran Fitzner, starting 24th. Then we have Evander Jonesfield starting 25th, and Matt Bortolovitz starting 26th, and shotgun on the field without setting a time. That's Tyler Langenberg. Good to see all these new faces, and now we're getting ready to go here, Gary.
We are being trolled. We are being trolled. Look at the car that Brendan's in.
Oh man, it's Brendan. Brendan, come on, you know better.
Oh my goodness! At least we are out there having fun. Yes.
I'm sure somebody redeemed it for him, but it's still like, come on, refuse. But 90 laps are in front of us. Most of the front runners are going to be starting on the alternate tires. We have from 1st to 7th, and then we have a couple other guys in the primes, but pace car is going in. Kevin Desnoyers is leading the field and ready to go racing. Here we go, green flags out.
And a tricky start here. This is not how the real NTT IndyCar Series will start. They will race down out of the keyhole. This time we're going into one, and we got a big slide off going into turn 1. 2 cars off in turn 1.
That's Daniel Gomez and Bortolovitz.
3 through the keyhole, and this another car off, and it is Brandon Listenberg in the Larson livery coming back to bite him early here in the race down the start straight that we'll see him start this weekend here in the IndyCar Series. And in the China Beach area, downhill. Down through Thunder Valley. Again, not very many passing opportunities here. Another elevation change. Desnoyers, Burrell, Oster, Kraus, Hunter, Ingrave, your top 5. Here we come into the final portion of the course. It is a quick 2.25 mile course here through the carousel, out of the final corner, down the front stretch.
That i5G car looks rapid. Jacob Oster has been trying to hound Kevin Burrell there for P2 as they go through the, the gravel that was put on the track. I love that kind of when that shows up, and it actually is a little slippery, so they have to be careful.
Connor Parisi getting around Logan Edwards at the keyhole. Move him up into 8th position. Ethan Morris, Ingrave, right around the China Beach area. Ethan Morris around Ingrave. Ingrave's not letting him go, though.
Probably one of the best passing zones of the track.
It is, and Ingrave is bracketed on the backside of him by a teammate who will not pressure him necessarily. All 3 of these cars on the alternate tires. The first 2 cars on the prime tires are Parisi and Logan Edwards in 8th and 9th. As you see on our scoring tree just off to the left, the white triangles next to P8 and P9. Red triangle means they are on the alternate tires. Kevin Desnoyers, boom, right to the top with a 1:17.1 for speed, or a 1:07 for time. Andrew Wood into the keyhole. Andrew up 3 spots already. Fitzner right in front of him. The real deal Evander Jonesyfield right behind him. Oh, not a good corner there for Fitzner. Woods looking for a place on by. Again, not many passing opportunities at the base of China Beach in the Thunder Valley. What would you say here about really 1 or 2 passing opportunities, very clean on this racetrack? Other than that, it's a lot of following and then procession. Destroyers, purple again.
Yeah, there's realistically not very many places where you can do it. Like you said, China Beach. If you're brave enough in the keyhole, you can try and do it. Turn 4 works, but that's about it. Every other place is, disaster waiting to happen. Andrew Wood
Inside,
trying to make a move here on the keyhole.
Yeah, in the keyhole. He's there and move. The power slide driver, even though he doesn't quite have the position, but he's on the push to pass button. And now he has the position and move Andrew Wood up inside the top 20.
Jonesyfield was trying to make it work there. Yeah. And look who's back here as well. Brandon Lichtenberg. Although lost a ton of track position, luckily no damage to his car as Jonesyfield goes into the grass. A little landscaping.
Little edging there. Lichtenberg trying to recover the lost track position that he got coming out of the keyhole when he went a little wide.
He's going to have a good run here. Jonesyfield not giving the inside, of course. With defensive moves, so Brandon goes to the outside. He is even. He's going to have a good run here on exit and should get on the bottom.
He needs to get by, though, because Jonesyfield's going to be in a preferred position when they get into the braking zone, and he's by. And then he goes to the inside to protect and move. Brendan Lichtenberg, Hyperstar, up to 21st position in the Larson livery. He knows what he's doing. He knows what he's doing.
Oh, yeah. In the meantime, Phil Krause is now creeping in closer and closer to Jacob Oster. This is going to be a very tough pass to make, though.
You know, Krause is really tough to beat on these road courses. Oster's getting a lot better. Oster winner last night in our first race of our 2-race doubleheader with IndyCars and the Indy Oval Series this week at Daytona. You should check that out. He won the first race by 0.016 of a second. The second race, if you want to believe it, was closer than that.
Crazy racing at Daytona. Ethan Hagan making a move on Logan Edwards there. That's for P10.
Ethan Hagan, one of the points leaders in the classic IndyCar series that runs that very old IndyCar IR05 Dallara chassis on the service. They run on Sundays. He's currently in the top 5 of their points.
Yeah, Paris went wide on China Beach, went into the grass. That allowed Ethan Hagan and Logan Edwards, both of them, to get by him. And has also brought Brophy. Oh, Brophy almost. There's now Brashear is going to take advantage of it. Okay, goes side by side into turn 1. Brashear clears Brophy. This group is very, very close together.
Oh, to the inside of Brophy. Someone's going to take a stab at that. That is Barbosa.
And now Will Weiser is going to take advantage. Yeah, you get strong in a bad position and everybody's going to go by. It's like a train.
Now, these guys have been beaten so much by Brophy on ovals before. They're not giving him any breaks whatsoever on the road course. They're like, take that. Oh, gets a little back in happy there. And Will Weiser in the that Alex Palou livery from a couple years ago.
Oh.
Oh, Brophy decides that, I'm going to cut the entire apex there.
Will Weiser has a good run here, but again, nowhere to go. Because the line is on the inside here. So Weiser is on the primary tire. Oh.
Oh.
What?
He's going to the inside. Is he having to serve a penalty?
Maybe. A caught penalty, maybe? I don't know. That was weird. And I'm sure Brophy is happy about that. I mean, not that something happened to Weiser, but that it doesn't happen right behind him. Caleb Brashear getting very, very close to Conor Paris there.
Up into the top end of China Beach. Coming downhill, cars get really light there.
Yeah, that's just the thing. And with all these elevation changes, sometimes you know the car is. If you apply the throttle and you match the throttle like you would typically do in other places, the car is going to spin out because it doesn't have the entire weight under the tires. It's certainly a very challenging racetrack.
And these cars do have suspensions, but they do not like to bend.
No. Something coming out of the pit. Somebody.
That is Evander Jonesy-Field. Apparently had to visit his corner man really quick. And into the kitty litter and the keyhole.
Yeah, cold tires.
Meanwhile, back up front, Kevin Noyers, your leader, his teammate right behind him, your points leader in the IIS. And here are the points of the IIS. We'll bring those up here for you real quick. Let's make that track map disappear. There we go. IIS points. There they are. You see Kevin Burrell, Nathan Moore not in the lineup tonight, I believe. He is second in the points. Albert Ho not in the lineup tonight. He is third. Ethan Egan in the lineup tonight is fourth. Logan Edwards in the lineup tonight is fifth. Ty Quilla, one of your teammates, he's having a good season. He's in sixth. Ethan Morris in the lineup tonight in seventh. Will Weiser in the lineup. We just saw him in eighth. Blaze Anderson in the lineup tonight, ninth. And Anna Klimek in the lineup tonight in 10th. So a lot of the top 10 opting for this first time slot this week here at Wednesday at 9 p.m. here on IIS Week.
Hamilton Barrera is trying to make a move on Kevin Bujalasa. Trying to go to the outside. It didn't work. Lost a ton of momentum, but he was there. And he's one of our biggest movers, sub 6 spots.
Yeah.
Only Joao Barbosa has moved up more, 7 spots for him. Oh. And the different lines that people take on, because they're all valid, that can put you in a tough spot. I feel that Hamilton's a little faster than Kevin here. But again, nowhere you can move. And if you are impatient,
go into the grass real easily.
Yeah.
And if you see on some of these portions where there's grass, and some of the portions there's no grass at all. There's just Armco or concrete barrier there.
Yeah, reminiscent of what you would have at a street course. It's no margin for error. Let's see if he has a good run here. I don't think it's close enough.
IndyCar first came here in 1980 in a combined USAC and CART sanctioned race. The inaugural event was won by Johnny Rutherford for his first and only road course win of his career. IndyCar raced here without interruption from 1980 to 2003. Mid-Ohio did not appear on either the IRL or Champ Car World Series schedules from 2004 to 2006, but returned when IndyCar, right before IndyCar unified and then after unification in 2007, and has remained on the schedule ever since. The track record is held by Simon Pagenaud, I believe still, ironically, because this is the track that kind of ended his career.
Yeah.
Really, he has not answered back from after that big wreck going out into the China Beach area. Very reminiscent to the 98 wreck that Michael Andretti had here. But speed of 103.8, or a time of 103.870. The kart track record held by Dario Franchitti, with a time of 105.3472. Also, I think he got tied with Gilles de Ferran. Gilles de Ferran ties that. So 2 drivers hold the old kart record. To nobody's surprise, Scott Dixon has the most wins here. He has 6 with his last win coming in 2019. Go ahead.
No. Just Logan Edwards taking a very defensive line against Conor Pariser and Caleb Brashear. But they're throwing haymakers at each other. And yeah, I mean, Dixon winning here, that's kind of like synonymous.
His last win came in 2019. Between kart and IndyCar, there have been over 40 races at Mid-Ohio. Chip Ganassi Racing and Team Penske have won more than half. Each have 12 wins apiece here. Your defending NTT IndyCar Series champion for 2024 is Pato O'Ward. The last 8 races at Mid-Ohio have produced 8 different winners. Another reason why you shouldn't miss the race this weekend on Fox.
Flemix pit in. A little early.
Very early for Klimek. Even on a 4-stopper, must be wanting to get off these tires or something. On a 4-stopper, we hypothesize the window opens at 18. On a 3-stopper, the window opens either at lap 22 or 23, preferably the 23 side of things. If you pit every 22 laps here, you're going to have to do a little bit of a fuel save to get to the end.
Yeah, I don't know. The math doesn't help that much, but maybe she had some damage. Decided to come in and get that fixed. If you save a ton, you might be able to make it, but that's a very big if.
This Neuer's out to a 1.8 second lead. And then right behind him is his teammate. And this is now becoming a 3-way battle for second between General Kevin Burrell, Jacob Oster, and Philip Kraus.
Yeah. And I mean, I imagine that Phil is saving a little bit of fuel, trying to go longer as he typically does, and maybe get a quicker pit stop, quicker in-lap, quicker out-lap. That's how he beat the previously forward guys last week, 2 weeks ago at Road America. So we'll see how it happens or what he attempts to do this time by. Looks like finally Kevin Desmarais is able to put a little bit of a gap between himself and Burrell. So I'm sure that that's not exactly what Kraus wants to see here.
So the question in chat from Shane Coker, he's asking, how does Mid-Ohio rank in terms of a number of IndyCar visits? Well, there's 18 through the IndyCar Series, and that is counting from 2007 to 2023. And if you count the additional stops from Kart and Champ Car World Series, that's 22. So if we do the math, 22 plus 18, that makes 40. It 40. So that is not very many tracks at all see 40 at all. So I would say this probably ranks in the top 10, probably all-time IndyCar. Certainly one of the more. This is actually one of the first regular road courses they really put on the schedule and stopped at. So I know in terms of road course history, this has one of the deeper histories in IndyCar racing history.
Like I'm old, although not that old. Yeah, I'm old. But I always remember Mid-Ohio being in the schedule, like way back. So yeah, I cannot say the same for all of the tracks. We have lost a ton of tracks in the years.
My old neighbors in Indianapolis, at the house I grew up at, they always used to go to the 500, and I always remember them talking about the 500, and then they have family in the area of Mid-Ohio, and they'd always go to Mid-Ohio and watch the second IndyCar race there. And I remember as a kid thinking how cool that was to go see 2 races a year.
It's still cool. I mean,
I've done 2 races a year on a couple occasions, and then after a while, it just gets expensive. That's what happens.
yeah, I mean, for sure. And if you're not in the States, it's even more expensive.
For sure. Well, and unless you're Tony Estrada, then they come to you.
Well, yeah.
When they go to Mexico City.
And there are a lot of rumors that might happen for IndyCar, so fingers crossed. I'm crossing all.
Now have you warned Andrea that when IndyCar does come, that you are getting the platinum ticket package, that you're going to be in the suite and the whole 9 yards? She does know that's happening, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. All right.
And she's okay with it.
Round lap traffic there, going into turn 3 at the end of the long straight into China Beach. Shady Ahmed having a bit of a rough day.
Yeah, he got collected in that lap 1 incident, as well as Matt Taylor, Bortolowicz, Gomez. We didn't really talk a lot about him. There was a ton of action happening, but yeah.
Oh, yeah, saw that one. We're riding from the point of view of PK right now, and Jacob Oster under acceleration. We told you on these acceleration zones, out of these corners, the cars are going to get happy in the tail end. And I would mean that it probably also means that at 18 laps, these red tires are probably spent.
Yeah, I'm sure that they all want to get rid of them as soon as they can, but they need to make the number. So a couple of additional laps here.
If you want to do a 4-stopper, the window is open now. That's pitting every 18 laps, and that will evenly get you to the end. We are doing 90 laps today, just like they will do in the real world. This is a 2.25-mile, 13-turn permanent road course. IndyCar calls it 2.258. So if you use that math, we will do just over 200 miles here on Sunday. So we're doing about 200 miles here right now. 90 laps, 203.22 race miles, just like the pros. 4-stopper strategy opens at 18 laps. 3-stopper opens at 22 or 23. We do have limited tires here, but we must switch the compounds. So all these cars that are currently on these alternate red sidewall tires will have to switch to the black sidewall tire primes at one point. They can go back to the red tires, and there goes Kevin Burrell to pit road.
Interesting. So
very interesting. Yes.
I thought that all of the front runners were going to try and go as long as possible. Man. That's interesting indeed. So, yeah, I mean, if you're able to make it to 23, that's perfect, because then you're not
he's stuck to the red tires.
They might be preferable if you're not going that long.
Well, maybe if he's doing the 4-stopper and he wants to push, maybe that's the way to go. I don't know. But that loses, Desnoyer loses his wingman now, but he is out to a 2.1 second lead over Oster and PK, who are undoubtedly probably working together. So they right now just making sure that they can keep the pace and try to keep up with this Noyers. Blaze Andritz now up in the 4th spot.
Yeah, and I think they're going for that 3-stopper one because they don't seem to be pushing that much. They're happy we're running around the 108 bracket. I'm listening to Phil Krause's engine. He's not really pushing. He's lifting a little bit, coasting through some of the corners. And he's also in perhaps the best spot because he's right behind Jacob Oster, so he's getting a little bit of draft. Doesn't need to push as much. I'm imagining that he's going to be able to make it to 23, and Jacob will, and Kevin Desnoyers, who's in the lead. Jacob slides around They're probably going to need to go to 22.
Sorry, Kevin Burrell and Kevin Rusala. Hopefully, again, I'm saying that right. Kevin B and Kevin B on the attack right now, down in the China Beach area.
Buhalasa has been having a good run today, up 4 spots from his starting position. But Burrell now, if he wants to make that 4-stopper strategy work, he needs to really, really push. Right now, he has Joao Barbosa in front of him, and then another Larson livery.
Well, that's not exactly the Larson livery. That is a McLaren livery, so we'll give him the pass on that one.
Yeah,
even though the Larson
fine.
livery is the McLaren livery, it's let's just say that we had 3 Larson liveries at once at the during one of the oval races that we had at Daytona last night, to nobody's surprise.
Well, yeah. Let's see if Burrell tries to send it here. I imagine he will. There he goes into the keyhole. Also, very nice from Barbosa. He knows that he's not necessarily racing Burrell, so why hold him up? But he is racing Buhalasa, who's right behind him. Close enough for Buhalasa to try and make a move. Taking a little bit of a peek here. It's also bringing Will Weiser into this battle.
We'll take a look there.
Oh, Weiser.
I guess we got Barbosa there and Brujolasa. I guess when Kevin Brujolasa, we can call it a brouhaha back there. And then Will Weiser, who is in the top 10 in points.
The Sawyer seems to be getting ready to pit.
He will take a shot of him now as he's on the top side of China Beach, now down the hill into the S's, down into Thunder Valley. And eventually he will hit the carousel. Oh, a little wide there, but keeps it straight. And look how close a lot of that Armco and those concrete walls are, that portion of the racetrack. You do not want to go off. Desnoyers looking to pit at lap 22. No, he's going to stay out for another lap. A little bit of a pump fake there.
Well, it's going to be much better for him in his fuel consumption. And, for the entire group that's in here. So if they're able to make it to 24 even, that makes so much easier.
Yeah, it's going to make things a lot easier. The further they can go past 23 will make that stop for the last stop much more comfortable. Kraus has an opportunity if he wants to here, but they've encountered some lap traffic.
That's Portugal law. They're going to catch him at a very, very bad spot.
Very bad spot, and there's no place for him to hide.
Yeah, there's nothing he did wrong. Although Jacob is not very happy with him, which understandable. And there's nothing you can do.
Yeah, he lost 3/10 just in that combination of corners right there. Now they're 2.6 behind Desnoyers, our leader. We'll see if Desnoyers makes the turn here through the carousel. Nope, he's going to stay out. He's going to do another lap.
Well, awesome fuel management there from Desnoyers.
Will Weiser on pit road with an extended stop with damage.
Oh, no. Yeah, that's a very, very long pit stop.
There's the alternate start line right there on the straightaway coming into the China Beach area. The scene of Pagano's big wreck from a couple seasons ago. Also, Michael Andretti. I think both Michael Andretti and Marco Andretti ended up on their lids at one point in that set of corners in their careers.
I vividly remember the one from Michael. Not that much the one from Marco, but yes.
Yeah, and whole area of the track's now reprofiled, so it's basically flat rather than the basic giant cliff they had before down into that sand trap.
Jacob Collins joining us in the booth.
Hey, Jacob, good to see you.
I had to take a short flight from the closest airport to Kokomo, Indiana, to make it to this one. So,
someone who's been to Kokomo for real life. I hopefully they mowed the landing strip so you could take off.
Well, it certainly couldn't have been much rougher than the beating and banging going on at the speedway there in Kokomo on the dirt. So.
Ethan Morris spitting in, one of the first front runners, in addition to Burrell, of course.
In and out and on the alternate tire. So it looks like the alternate tire is the preferred tire throughout this race. And those that are going to switch to the Prime for their one and only stint. In case you're wondering, since these cars have received an update, this is the second race since we've had that update. There is no rain in the forecast. 0% chance. No rain in the forecast. We will not see rain potentially in the forecast until we get to Portland in a couple more weeks. Oh no, Ethan Morris into the wall at the bottom, coming into the S's, just coming out of China Beach. And he's going to tow.
Man, yeah. Cold tires. Kind of saw the same thing a few laps ago with, I think it was a Vander.
Into the keyhole, yep.
Oh, man, yeah. So easy to do. You're trying to catch up. You're trying to get up to speed, but, things are different. You need to wait until they settle in a little bit. You need to wait for a couple of laps, get them up to speed, up to temp. That's a bummer. He was having a great race. Leaders are catching up with lap traffic here.
Yeah, we got Fitzner, Jonesyfield, and Barbosa. Do we see our leader come to pit? He does come to pit roads, but the car in front of him comes to pit road, and that is really going to slow him up.
Oof, yeah, that's not what the Snoyers wanted to see here. Hey, these could turn into a two-stopper if they're able to make it. And I'm talking about maybe Kraus. Another couple of laps.
Into the 30s, yes.
I mean, it shifts from, thinking about a four-stopper to a three-stopper to now maybe a two-stopper. Hunter Ingraf is in as well. We'll have to see where the Snoyers blends in. And what is the decision from these
he is
guys?
ahead of Burrell, though. So Burrell, remember, Burrell stopped earlier. He is ahead of Burrell. Logan Edwards has not stopped yet. Oster and Kraus have not stopped yet. These guys that we are talking about now, Oster, Kraus, and Edwards, they could be on a two-stopper. And Oster coming to pit road. So Kraus is going to try. I'm going to guess he's going to try for the two-stopper. He probably was saving a ton of fuel behind his teammate Oster, or at least his cooperative teammate Oster. So that turns the lead over to PK. Today's coverage is sponsored by 4D Racewear. Check out their line of made-for-sim racing gloves, shoes, and apparel. Visit them today at 4dracewear.com or click on the link in the description. If you enjoy P1's coverage of the IndyCar iRacing Series special Wednesday presentation of the Saturday Top Split, and you respect the stream, please do us a solid. Make sure you support us by subscribing, and while you're at it, don't forget to smash like and click the bell so you'll miss out on future P1 iRacing broadcasts. Our lap 28 here of 90.
Edwards and Brophy also pit. So I think pretty much everybody has gone into the pits.
Except for PK.
Except for Pitman. And Kraus, let's see what happens. If he's able to get another lap or if he has to pit. He's going to be able to get another lap. There he goes. I think he's going for that two-stop. Man, it's crazy the fuel economy that he can get. He's like Dixon.
Remember, they added more laps to this race, so he couldn't win it anymore.
Oh, but somebody went out of the track in front of him. That's Kieran Fitzner. Rejoined just in front
Oh,
of
and
the leader.
he is missing a front wing, so he's going to have to nurse a car back to pit road with a meatball flag.
Yeah, and a broken toe link as well. That car is not going to turn. Luckily, he doesn't have a ton of cars right behind him.
Here's Kraus through Thunder Valley. A whole bunch of cars racing for position in front of Kraus. That's Kirk. In front of Kirk is Brualasa, Andrew Wood, Barbosa.
All right, so now it's going to be interesting to see the blend. And we're finally going to be able to reset the field.
And Kraus down and away, staying on the alternate tires.
He's going to beat Burrell here. And Oster.
But he did eat into Desnoyer's lead. Desnoyer's came to pit road with like a 2.6 second lead, and I think the traffic he encountered coming to pit road is probably what cost him time there. The lead is down to 2.4. It was down to 2.1, but I think Phil is kind of light-footing it a little bit because he's looks like he might be doing a two-stop strategy, and also he's trying to bring those tires up to temperature, and we've already seen a number of situations already in this race at 30 laps old where a driver's not bringing those tires up to temperature, getting into trouble right away.
Yeah, for sure. And, I'm sure that he's not necessarily super happy about this because, again, while he was driving behind Oster, that helped his fuel economy a ton. Now he has clean air in front of him. That's not going to help that much. Maybe he will need to call an audible and abandon that three-stop idea or two-stop idea. But we'll see how this race progresses. Burrell is getting really close to him. And again, I'm not sure. We might see Kraus letting him by here because it's actually convenient for him. We know that Burrell is going to be on that four-stop strategy. So he's going to be pushing hard. And Kraus doesn't need that. But before Burrell goes in, which should happen in like 4 or 5 laps or something like that, we can reset the field for a little bit. It's going to be the Desnoyers leading this race. Second place is Phil Kraus, 3 seconds behind him. Then we have Kevin Burrell running P3. Jacob Oster is 4th place. Andrick currently running 5th. Hunter Ingrid running 6th. Connor Paris is 7th. Logan Edwards running 8th. Anna Klemic 9th. And Ethan Agan rounds out that our top 10 for tonight. Until people start pinning again, and then they throw it away.
Kyle Parisi and Logan Edwards is your closest battle within the top 10, although Andrew Wood and Barbosa
Edwards.
They are battling it out right there.
And right behind Edwards and Paris, we have Klemic, who went into the pits lap 12. But now, after knowing what we know, maybe she was just trying to go for a very quick stint. And then another couple of stints, because you can do safely around 25 laps around this place without saving that much. The extreme saving gave you 29, as we saw with Kraus, but Klemic should be fine, although Edwards has a great run here on Paris. They're going to go side by side in the backstretch. Yeah, Paris doesn't want anything to do with that. Smart driving there.
Wood and Barbosa battling it out, again coming down the backstretch into the China Beach area. Wood trying to make Barbosa walk the plank here as he's trying to get this pass done, and it's just not happening for Andrew. But what he might do is actually drive Barbosa in a little bit of a mistake. And we saw Barbosa go wide there before going uphill into China Beach. Now they're downhill into Thunder Valley going through the S's.
Ooh.
He's there. He's just no place to go.
Good. Yeah, and he's really faster. He has a better line, but there's nowhere to make a pass. Especially if the setup is allowing Barbosa to have good speed entering, China Beach and the keyhole, which are the main passing zones. If he matches you there and you're better everywhere else, it's like, well, tough luck, because you need to make something happen. He has a good run here. Good dose. Going to the outside. That's a little bit too wide, though. Yeah. Oh. Now he's Barbosa is on the bottom, actually.
And on the button, as you see from our scoring tree.
So again, through this section, Andrew Wood is faster. But, Barbosa doesn't even need to make his car wide. It's just the nature of the track.
Yeah, there's
about just enough room to squeeze two cars around every corner around this track, but you gotta trust both of yourselves to be able to make every corner doing that.
That's typically a tough order.
It can be done. It's just, is it going to stay that way? It's always the lingering question in the back of your head.
This is a battle for 12th. And right behind is Kevin Brualasa. He's in 14th. Thomas Van Kirk is in 15th. And Connor Parisi, something just happened to him, and he is dropping out.
Yeah, connection dropped.
Oof.
Due to download pack loss. That's the one that we call mechanical.
So that's a free spot for everyone that is now coming up on him. So now this battle that we saw was a battle for 12th. Now it's a battle for 11th. And now these guys now know they're on the edge of the top 10, so they're going to pick up the pace and pick up the effort a little bit more. Andrew Wood up 11 spots. He's your biggest gainer of the day for the Power Slide driver.
And also another battle that's brewing, that's Ethan Egan and Jason Brophy. Brophy, they're running 9th from 10th.
Yeah, right ahead of this group.
Brophy has been faster the last few laps. Right now, there's a different tire. Brophy is on the alternates. Ethan Egan is on the primes. Here comes Brophy on the bottom.
And Brophy on by, and I think Egan just lit him by. This is kind of one of those rare crossing of the streams of the IndyCar community. You don't see these two on track very often in the same leagues or the same races. But here you go, Brophy versus Egan. Again, these guys, each one of them, a lot of starts in the IndyCar. Just not a lot of races that we've seen them together. And there's a rare situation where we get to see two guys in the community with a ton of starts racing against one another.
This battle right behind with Barbosa, Wood, and Buhalasa, they're not giving up. No quarters. Oh, he goes
we got
a little
two.
wide. Barbosa does.
We got two drivers in this group of four that have last names that have fictional captains tied to them. We got, of course, Captain Barbosa,
right,
and Captain Kirk. But I'm sure it's Van Kirk. I'm sure it's Van Kirk, but I'm just going to play with it. Here's the inside on the outside of Wood. Just sends it into the keyhole.
But got in the dirty stuff.
Dirty racetrack.
You can see that there are a lot of marbles there. Makes it a little tough because we saw the outside work very, very well at the beginning of the race, but now it's full with marbles, and that really does affect the car. Maybe not as much as it should it does in real life, but it does change the dynamics of it. So it's hard to do it right now.
And as you see on the tree, there you see the situation with the tires. Red tires for your top three. Oster on the prime. Andrich on the alternate. Ingrave on the prime. Ethan Agan in the top 10 on the prime. Everybody else in the top 10 on the red tires. Now, the biggest battle that we see, or the biggest even, what's making the playing field even for this battle that we're watching right now featuring Barbosa and Wood, is Barbosa is on the prime tire and Wood is on the alternate tire. And as someone maybe that's put some road course time here at Mid-Ohio, Jacob, what is the crossover point between the red tire and the prime tire here?
Well, I'd imagine like most tracks, it's about the halfway point of the stint, right? As it takes a while for those primaries to kind of...
We're there.
Because, yeah, you don't necessarily have the primary pick up a ton of pace. It's mostly the reds falling off as you kind of go over the course of the run. Although, in a lot of cases, you can make those red tires kind of... If you could stretch them and not abuse them early on in the stint, you could maybe get a couple extra laps out of them. But that's always the risk-reward when trying to hang on to a soft tire like that.
Barbosa 13 laps into his run. Wood 10 laps into his run. So Barbosa more closer to the halfway point on his run. Wood not quite to the halfway point. Wood pitted at lap 26 in his first stint. Barbosa at lap 23. So we expect to see Barbosa probably in another 9 to 8 laps come to pit road if he stays on schedule.
Yeah, and at this point, it's probably going to be, the way to pass him for Wood, to do a little bit of an overcut.
Yeah, that's my next question there. Do you think Wood should probably come to pit road earlier?
I don't think earlier is a call, just because it would put you off your sequence, but instead to try and save as much fuel as possible, go as late as you can. And whenever Barbosa decides to pit, since there is a little bit of an offset between them, 3 laps between their last pit stop, once Barbosa goes into pits to go and push as hard as possible, as they both get
synchronized squirreliness there.
And to try and do an uppercut in that regard. Klemic is pitting from P8.
And the Taylor Mills entry down on the way. Anna done with stop number 2 of their day. Your leader still Kevin Desnoyers. Right behind him is PK. PK has dug into the lead a little bit, and Desnoyers does have lap traffic in front of him. PK now 1.2 to the leader. He's starting to reel him in. Now 1.1 really is that exchange between the lap traffic and the leader was not very efficient in through the keyhole. Now can Kraus get a position here? Now he unfortunately is going to catch Fitzner kind of at the worst place of the racetrack we were talking about, but Fitzner does a good job of getting out of the way.
Yeah, and kind of the same thing happened a little bit, a couple positions behind them with Jacob Oster and Blaise Hendrick. A couple guys got right in front of Jacob. That allowed Blaise to get really close to Jacob Oster. But, that's also the nature of the beast. There is nowhere to hide. We talked about it. And, if you get caught in a very bad position, there's nothing you can do except wait until the next corner. Or being patient and ruin your race as well, the
rush to get out of the way kind of would make you unpredictable, and in an unpredictable moment, that other car that's trying to pass you might stick their nose there, and then there's 2 of you in an incident.
Yeah. And, the lead has shrunk so much now, down to 1 second. And Sayers has traffic in front, and that's a fast car. That's Anna Klemic.
Just came out of the pits. This
Yeah,
Desnoyers is 14 laps into his stint. Kraus, 11 laps into their stint. So in terms of who has a fresher set of red tires on at the moment, although you did see Kraus kind of do a bit of a Tokyo drift there coming in through the S's. He has a better set of tires just by a handful of laps at the moment, and he has caught Desnoyers now under a second coming down the main straightaway out of turn 13.
Yeah, and also these guys, you know, the top 5, they're setting a crazy pace. Like top 5 are within 9 seconds, and you know, it's still being generous. But realistically, Desires and Kraus have run away with this. Kimber is 6 seconds behind. Then Jake Boser 8 seconds behind. Blaze Hendrick 9. Then it's you know, an abyss. 21 seconds for Hunter Anger running safe.
An abyss.
And then another abyss. 38 seconds to Logan Edwards. And we only have 14 cars left on the lead lap. The last one was anticlimactic.
Oh, just went down a lap, so now 13 on the lead lap. Yep.
Although she'll get it back once everybody else pits, but man, again, nowhere to go, nowhere to hide. Right in front of field crowds right now. Well, there you go. You can do that as well. Be very. That's a great move from Anna.
Yep, right there on the front straight. And there are still the using the backstretch here coming out of the keyhole with the alternate start finish line on the backstretch here. Using the start there is a fairly recent change in IndyCar. If you can go back in history and see some of the older races where they would start on the old front straight or on the current front straight, and you would see it just be a pile of cars going into turn 1. If you want to see some more exciting starts to kart races back in the day, check those out here in Mid-Ohio. They should all be pretty much on the YouTube. In fact, I think every single race that has been held at Mid-Ohio, every single IndyCar race that has been held at Mid-Ohio has been televised. So there is a record of it on YouTube right now, including the first win by Johnny Rutherford, and his one and only road course win here when he was driving the Yellow Submarine.
I'll check that one out.
Let's also not forget when the IndyCar Butt Kicker Pro Series came here. This is the site of the infamous Turn 1 pileup, where about half the field ended up in the grass with carbon fiber shrapnel scattered about.
There have been some leagues that I've been a part of or broadcasted that have actually done the starts on the alternate start-finish line there. Someone would have to call it out. That's not a bad idea. I don't know what it would take for iRacing to allow the secondary start-finish line to be enabled for IndyCar races here or something, but that would be a nice little add-on to Mid-Ohio if they could pull it off. And I think it would make the starts a little less hairy.
Yeah, I believe traditionally how they've handled alternate stuff like that is they have to put in another track layout, so it's possible they add like an IndyCar version of the track where the start line is at the other position. Although that would may potentially conflict if we somehow at some point get full course yellows, in which case do we have like a restart line as well? And
ooh,
that might get
that
too
was Barbosa. Sorry. Barbosa slid off at turn 1, and on pit road right now also is the general Kevin Burrell. Not sure what happened to Barbosa, but he was off in the turn 1 area. Let's go back and take a peek at that. Yeah, you're right. We don't think of it often as the as I'm trying to find what happened to Barbosa here, and I don't often think of it as the coding aspect of it, but I got to think it's somehow possible. I don't know, but just revert then back to the other start-finish line after the start of the race. I don't know if they could do something like that. We'll try to fast forward through this and see what happened to Barbosa coming through turn 1. Might have dropped a tire.
Yeah, that inside curb coming out of the pit lane is very, very tall.
Ooh, that's what he did. Oh, and Andrew just about got him. And you're right, he grabbed that curb and a whole lot of it.
Yeah, I've had the honor and privilege of actually competing here, and I remember watching a group of 206 carts run 2x2 through that corner, and the outside lane pushed the inside lane onto the top of that curb, and the lead car to the inside train just mounted the curb, shot sideways, and wrecked about 6 or 7 of them off into the sand.
Jeez.
And they were all like kicking stuff and throwing their fists around, yelling at each other. It's about the funniest thing I think I've ever seen in my entire history of racing.
Now Kevin Desnoyers is going to have a little bit of a tough group here.
A lot of traffic, a lot. But
These
I mean, we just saw that one.
Field Prowse getting very squirrely behind him.
Involved in this group is PK's teammate, Andrew Wood. I'm not saying Andrew Wood's going to do anything bad. I know Andrew Wood. He's a stand-up person. But does he do something to maybe help his teammate a little bit? Just not necessarily get out of the way fast enough. Oh, well, never mind that. Desnoyers goes, you know what? I'm not even going to answer that question or try to get that question posed. I'm just going to come to the pit road early. And he's on pit road right now, lap 19 into this stint.
Which, you know, fair. If you're going to get held up by traffic, better. If you can get out of it, go ahead and get out of it.
Yeah, with as long as the fuel stints are here, it's not too much of a gamble for him to pit those couple laps early.
And just goes to a new set of red tires. So I believe the Desnoyers might go to the prime tire for his last stop. Oh, he's around! He's around coming out of pit road!
Oh, no.
And let's watch this as he comes off the button. He's off the button now. He's under acceleration, cold tires, wanting to merge, 100% throttle, twitch, twitch, twitch. Catches it, but as soon as it hits the grass, it might as well be ice as the back end comes around. And that is going to be costly. That is going to be super costly.
Oh, man. I mean, they have built a large enough gap to third and fourth. We briefly touched about it. I think it's going to be still running second, maybe, once everything's said and done. But, you know, that's going to make it almost impossible to catch back to Field Prowse here. Unless Phil makes a mistake, which, I mean...
Hey, well, we put our pants on one leg at a time, just like he does, so...
Yeah.
Unless Phil has a special machine I don't know about. I don't know. He did get some money in the butt kicker series, so maybe he invested himself in a pants machine. I don't know.
Yeah, where he can just kind of jump off a chair into his pants.
Right. EK could do the old MGF, I'm better than you and you know it bit, yeah. As he gets on by Kevin Brualasa.
Typically not a passing zone.
And he dips down, and his teammate dips down and holds on to the position. So Wood allows his teammate on by and doesn't give up the spot. And Wood is now inside the top 10, but he's the first car one lap down. Kevin Edwards in ninth is the first car, last car on the lead lap. Blaze Andrich now second spot because of pit stops. He is 8 seconds behind this battle.
Man, this Neuer is now 5 seconds behind Burrell. So in that whole spin, I think he lost around maybe 10 seconds or something like that.
Oof.
He might have lost the podium with that as well.
And remember, Kevin is still learning these cars. He's still fairly new to the IR18. Bill Kraus, what do you want to say, hundreds of starts? Maybe being generous. I don't know. Hundreds of starts. And I'm saying that conservatively. He might even have well beyond that. But he knows these cars very well. He is a Pro Series driver. Had the black license for a while, or the white license. I forget which color it is now. But he was part of that Pro Series where he got to hold that license for a while. And I finished second in the points. He still holds it. Yeah, so he actually gets to carry that over. If the Pro Series, and I keep hearing rumors, maybe not on the Pro Series, and I hate to see the Pro Series go away, but again, possibly inexperienced behind the wheel of the car. I don't know. I just throw it out there, add a little drama to things as a possibility. I don't know. But Desnoyers showing a little red haze at the moment with a 107.6 purple lap.
Trying to get it back.
He has nothing but an open racetrack in front of him. But I think there might be a little red mist there in his eyes. And guys, you guys have been there before. Do you blame the man?
No, not at all. Been there. and especially when it's a self-induced mistake, right? Like nobody was pressuring him. And I've done that multiple times. Lost many races because I was too eager to get on throttle as Brophy goes super wide, and that allows Ethan Egan to move on by. That's for P7. Oh, that was in the China Beach area. But yeah, I mean, I cannot follow him. I've done that, and then once you get back going, you're like, oh, I'm gonna try and get it back. So,
ooh, Brophy missed the braking zone, and he goes off into the grass right in China Beach. Keeps it out of the kitty litter, but that cost him the position that he worked on so hard to get the pass and pull away. Now he has to work on it again.
I mean, I think Ethan was going to go by Brophy anyway because the last couple of laps he had been faster. I think at this point Brophy is probably trying to get off of these red tires. They're spent. And, you know, that lockup really doesn't help matters.
Lap 52 of 90, your leaders. PK currently out in front by 16 seconds as I think Blaze Andrich came to pit road for a scheduled stop. So Jacob Oster, the Worm Man, winner last night in race 1 at Daytona. You check that out, Daytona in the Indy cars. If you just have the morbid curiosity and you want to know why Indy cars don't race at Daytona, well, we gave you 3 races worth in our doubleheader. Yes, we gave you bonus coverage of one other race. And you can see for sure and for a reason why IndyCar does not race on the oval at Daytona. But anyways, Jacob Oster was the winner of the first race. Currently second spot today.
Desnoyers and Andrick. Andrick, after his pit stop, stayed ahead of Desnoyers. Now Desnoyers is trying his hardest to get by. Andrick is not giving him any room. He's trying here to go to the outside. Not necessarily the preferred lane.
Look at those rotors light up. Oh, great
so
job by
Andrick.
Both of these drivers.
See, I told you could fit 2 cars there.
So that red mist you mentioned, that's probably growing even redder or whatever.
Well, he moved it to the tires now. See, the tires are red. The insides of the tires are red. The little slowdown things going on in the tires, those are red too.
He's seeing a whole lot of red at the moment. And now he has to reset a little bit as there's a car coming off a pit road in front of this duo. This is a battle for 4th.
Oh, a little wide for Blaze there.
Andrich hits the button. He realized he was in a moment. He's going to need that little extra boost. Desnoyers doesn't go to the button. He taps it a little bit. I think he thought about using it, thought against it. It lit up just for a second. And while we're talking about the button, let's give everyone a button report. Here's what you got for push to pass remaining. Kraus 160, Jacob Oster 127, Burrell 124, Andrich 117, Desnoyers 145, Hunter Ingrave 200. I don't even know if did he forget to map the button, or maybe he's just so close on fuel he can't use it. It wouldn't be the first time that someone's forgot to map the button.
I think Hunter knows better than to have.
I'm pretty sure Hunter knows better. Yeah. Kevin Brualasa, he's at 61 seconds. He is your key button spammer of the race so far, at least in the top 15.
Hey, and that defense that Andrick did, that allows him to get a little bit away from Kevin Desnoyers there. I mean, he has 4 lap fresher tires, that's actually going to help a lot. So that was the moment for Kevin Desnoyers to make that move, which, he tried his hardest. We saw that as Phil Krause is coming to the pits right now. But, advantage right now to Blaze Hendrick.
EK goes 24 into 25 laps for this second stint, so
Jacob Oster is speeding as well.
I don't think he's going to be able to pull this two-stopper off. I'm not sure.
No.
Going to the prime tires.
I think the two-stopper kind of went away once we found that he came out in clean air, and he needed to save a lot in order to make it that work. But he's in the lead, so.
And that gives the lead to the general, Kevin Burrell, as he is heading through the keyhole at the moment, down the backstretch, through the turn 3 kink. But he has himself a 4-second. Go ahead.
It looks like Andrich was it a lap car, or is that Desnoyers again? I think he got hip checked coming out the kink or out the keyhole.
Desnoyers?
It was Andrich on Andrew Wood, I believe, is what I saw there. I didn't realize Desnoyers was quite that far back now.
We'll check that again. There we see going into from the blimp view in the P1 airship, and Andrew goes wide. He's expecting Blaze to Blaze. Oh yeah, wow. He gave Blaze room. I think it was one of those racing deals.
Guys, last pit stop for Phil Krause, 18 seconds. He's back and forth. I was just wondering what happened. Oh, a slow pit stop is going to do that to you.
We watched him make the change to the tires. I'm not sure what happened there, but an 18-second pit stop for Phil Krause. Going to put him down in the order.
Back to fourth. Behind the tires.
Maybe we can see that pit stop again.
I mean, that's what this thing is reporting me, and, it would track.
We're watching. We'll go back and we'll rewind just a little bit, and then we'll play and just watch it at speed. I don't know what happened.
I don't know.
He hits his marks.
The wing adjustments take time off pit stop.
Maybe something like that.
Tire
wing angle adjustments. I know typically guys will have a different wing angle for the primary versus alternate tire, so it's possible that takes some extra time, but I'm not sure how much of a time suck that actually ends up being.
Well, he's down and away. Wow. Well, I mean, the comparison of times on pit road, if anyone else is curious, Kevin Burrell, 8.9 seconds. Blaze Andrich, 9 seconds. Kevin Desnoyers, 8.3. Jacob Oster, his teammate, we just saw cut through that picture, 8.1. And 18.4 for Krause. Hunter Ingrave had a slightly longer one. We didn't watch his stop. We don't know if maybe he slid through his box or something, but he had a 10.1. Logan Edwards, an 8.8. Anna Klimek, a 10. So maybe there were some changes being made to the wings, but that would have, I guess in that case, he would have had changes both to the front and rear wings for it to be that long, would it? We're just speculating.
Yeah.
Can you even do changes to the rear wing?
I don't think so. No. But, I mean, the other thing is maybe he had some damage. Needed the wing replaced. I don't know. That's odd. But, hey, that gives us a race.
Yeah.
Blaze, Kevin Burrell is leading. Blaze Andrick is second, 4 seconds behind, or 5 seconds behind. Then there's Kevin Desnoyers. He's still trying his hardest to get by Blaze Andrick.
Yeah, and then you were talking, before you reset the rest of the top five, you were talking about at one point that little mistake possibly costing Desnoyers the podium. Now we're going to go side by side into turn 4. Oh.
Almost up the attenuator.
Putting it lightly. And not too far behind this is Phil Krause.
Getting closer and closer.
But you were talking about this might have cost, that little mistake might have cost us Neuers a chance at the podium. Now he's right back in this thing.
Yeah, and his teammate Kevin Burrell leading the race comfortably. He's so happy right now that, you know, Blaze is happy, is fighting with everybody else. It's like, yeah, come on, fight.
And Burrell is your points leader in the IIS right now, currently. And taking a peek to the inside. Burrell, 15 top fives and 20 starts in the IIS. This when he chooses the race. Nathan Moore, not in the lineup today, has only 16 incidents and 16 starts. Actually, that might be less than that. I think he has 13 incidents and 16 starts. So that's how he's got the second place in the standings. It's just staying out of trouble. And then Alan Berteau, currently third in points. He has no wins, but 7 top fives in 15 starts. That is your top 3. And how they got there. Oh, big twitches by both those guys.
That's bringing Field Krause in here. Man, what a save by both Andrick and Desnoyers. That could have easily been race ender there for them.
Bill's going to take a peek to the inside to let Kevin know he's there. They're going to go through one. They're going to dip a wheel. All 3 of them into the dirt. Not too far beyond this battle is Jacob Oster, who just set the purple lap not too long ago.
Yeah, and everybody on the alternate tire except for Field Krause, we know that they need to use it. So Burrell, Andrick, and Desnoyers, they're going to need to move to the primary tire to end the race. Almost a little bit of bump drafting there.
Desnoyers putting that nose right on the attenuator. That might have registered a 0x in the cockpit for Blaze.
I'm sure it did. Yeah, they did touch.
Yeah,
but I mean, right now,
these cars are like off the ground most of the time too, so even the slightest bit of contact unsettles it even more.
Yeah, 100%. And then you also don't want to be hitting guys with your front wing, because although they're sturdy, they can be very fragile as well. So you can damage them. I can totally understand Desire, though. He wants to go by.
PK! He saw, you're going to go to the outside, I'll go to the inside. Going to go defensive down the backstretch.
Ooh, very close.
Oh, he still has a wheel there. Oh, here comes Phil. Now they're side by side. Now all of the attacking. Now Blaze is like, I gotta go, because Desnoyer is now being attacked by PK and Oster's there. We have a 4-way battle for second.
What a save there by Desnoyer as well. Krause got there a little too late. And again, the one that's benefiting from this, Kevin Burrell.
6-second lead for Burrell at the moment.
Yeah, that keeps growing. That's why Desnoyers, Krause, and Oster are like, yeah, go! Let's go! A little bit of a lock up there. Everybody on the bottom. Lighting up like a Christmas tree. At least for a second. Here goes Desnoyers to the outside again.
Blaze doing a good job just hitting his marks perfectly, putting his car in a position where he can't really be passed unless the situation is forced. And nobody really wants to do that. Everyone wants to pull off a clean pass here.
I mean, you still have 28 laps to go, so.
At least one more pit stop for a lot of these drivers.
Yeah, no, everybody has to pit.
And then we have
28 laps now, but that quickly turns into 20, that turns into 15, that turns into 10. So the the sooner you do it, the better off you are coming into the race.
That is true. Yeah.
And remember, we said 25 is a pretty comfortable number on a stint. So anybody here in the next 3 laps, if they want to come to pit road, might be able to finish out the race. Here we see them, all of them on the button. Green, green, green. Smoke them if you got them as they rush down into through the turn 3 into turn 4. Destroyers is going to keep it on the outside. He's going to have himself the preferred position at the top of the hill. But if he doesn't get by and unfortunately Blaze up into the dirt, now there's PK.
Oh, Blaze. Door.
Just barely gets into his front wing of Phil Kraus, I believe. I think Phil's got scuffs on both end plates on that pink power slide entry.
Yeah, looks like he's been getting a little physical.
It's just the car is just showing a little bit of seasoning.
And you know, one of the changes that happened with the last update is you can toss the car much more. You can move around. You can actually be a lot aggressive now. You were unable to do a lot of that, and now you can. So it's a lot of fun. Kraus has a good run here. Place Andrick in the bottom.
All on the button.
On
Everybody on the button. Here we go on the outside, going in that China Beach. If he can keep the car there, he's going to be in the preferred position again. Door shut.
Yeah, Blaze is driving a fantastic line, honestly.
This is one of those character-building moments right here as all 3 of them get loose through there.
And that's the problem. You get a good run, but there's nothing you can do with it.
Each one of those cars, different line, entering the carousel there. I think next time by, we start seeing drivers dip down pit road for final stops. 20 laps for Burrell on his stint. Desnoyers 18, 14 for Andrich, 10 for Kraus. That is just the stint alone.
Here comes Kraus.
Whoa, top of the hill. Can he get the clear? He does. And now Oster.
That was a great move. Klemek, last pit stop for her. She's been running in the top 10 all race long.
Very quietly, but doing a great job hitting pit road, hitting the marks spot on. Final stop for Anna Klemek. Down and away. Day done for the Taylor Mills squad pit crew there. Meanwhile, back up front, your points leader, Kevin Burrell, looking to extend that points lead, so at least start the week extending it. There could be higher strength of field races on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. 3 more time slots for the IIS they run. When the IIS is scheduled, it is 4 time slots, 1 on Wednesday, 1 on Friday, 1 on Saturday, 1 on Sunday.
Jacob Oster is able to make it by before turn 4.
I think Blaze's tires are spent after 15 laps and everyone else around him on much younger tires.
Not to mention the level of defensive driving he had to pull off.
Yeah, no kidding.
Cars behind him.
And PK starting to reel in Kevin Desnoyers right now. PK getting around lap traffic.
Oh, Kevin Burrell, last pit stop.
Burrell on pit road, hit his mark up on the pneumatic jacks. Last set of tires for him as he goes to the primes. Enough fuel to get to the end. Down and away. Be careful coming up to speed.
Blaze Andrick also last pit stop for him.
He's probably happy to get off those tires as well. He goes to the prime tires. He's down and away. Final stop for Blaze Andrich, who started in 7th position today.
But what a great defense from him.
Oh
honestly.
yeah, that was one of those things that I called it a character building battle right there, because you realize, I just held off PK, the guy that finished 2nd in the Pro Series. I held him off for a good portion of time, and he was doing everything he could in all of his own talent to try to get around me, and he couldn't do it because, here comes Desnoyers to pit road.
Last pit stop.
So Kraus becomes the leader. But again, Blaze Andrich got to be thinking to himself, I went toe-to-toe, and I did a couple haymakers with one of the best in the community, and didn't really come out too bad for it.
Yeah, no, I mean, he did a great job, and he's still running solidly in 6th. So, which he has been in the top 5, top 7 of the entire race, basically. And there are a couple guys that still need to pit. Hunter Angrave is probably going to slot behind him after he pits, so that should give him realistically a top 5. That's,
pretty good.
Where do I sign?
Logan Edwards in 7th. Ethan Egan, last car on the lead lap in 8th.
Right, so Burrell had to move to the primary tire, as we mentioned. Same for the Desnoyers, same for Andrick. Phil Kraus already on the prime, so once he makes his pit stop, I imagine he's going to extend this as much as possible.
You're right. That's exactly what I was saying. He wants to go as long as possible, because that makes that stop of his as short as possible. He's going to go to red tires and a light fuel tank.
Yeah. And right behind him, that's Jacob Oster, who currently holds the fastest lap of the race.
The 107.2.
And he's also on the alternate tire. So, this plays in Phil Kraus's favor. However, he was 9 seconds behind Burrell. So, I mean, that's a tall order. I think it's going to be very close. I don't know who's going to get it, but...
Well, the pit delta is 37.4 seconds. And Burrell is 16 seconds behind Kraus.
Yeah, that's quite a lot.
We may also get a shorter pit stop here from Kraus, as he may only need to take fuel.
Right.
Or less fuel at that, right?
Well, Kraus did, I'll just take that back. Kraus did 37.4 last time because he had an 18-second stop. But the cars around him... regular stop is about 26 and a half, 27, 28 seconds. So Burrell's still in that window. We'll see how close it is with the shorter fill, though.
Man, I don't know. I do imagine that it's going to get a little close toward the end of the race. Especially because, again, Kraus is going to be on the alternate tire with a light tank, brand new alternate tires. They're going to be very fast, and I imagine that he's going to go and set purple lap after purple lap. But I don't know if he's going to have enough time. And then it also depends on where he blends in. If he blends in traffic, well, that's really going to affect him. So, this is not a done deal by any means.
We'll watch this battle for 11th between Van Kirk and Ruiz. If you're just joining us, you're watching coverage of round 10 of 16. Gosh, can't believe we're already at round 10 this season of the IIS Saturday Top Split Special Wednesday edition presented by 4D Racewear, coming to you from Mid-Ohio. We've completed now, well, we got 20 laps to go at a scheduled 90. If you enjoyed today's coverage or like to monetarily support our commentary team, make sure to donate via our GoFundMe link in the description, or you can send us a super chat as Ruiz gets around Van Kirk for 11th. Today's coverage is brought to you by 4D Racewear. Check out their line of made-for-sim racing gloves, shoes, and apparel. Visit them today at 4dracewear.com or click on the link in today's stream description.
Man, these guys have lapped all the way until 8th. Right in front of PK, we have Logan Edwards. He's running 8th. Crazy pace.
Logan Edwards started 8th, currently is 8th. Shot even par today. Go ahead.
As the number 8 car at that.
Huh.
Like I said, even par. I think the only thing he's regretting right now is going down a lap. At this point, 19 to go, and you go down a lap, you're like, oh, man. Biggest gainer of the day is Ruiz, and we saw him get that pass around Van Kirk for 11th and 12th there. He's up 11 spots.
I see Langenberg also up 12.
He's up 12, you're right. He is the biggest gainer of the day. He started shotgun on the field, 27th.
Very quietly, just hasn't made mistakes. Everybody else behind him has some sort of issue.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with the old drive to survive strategy.
I mean,
as someone who's employed it every single road course race of his life, there's nothing wrong with that one.
Oh, we missed something. Something happened with Brophy a couple laps ago. I can't imagine. Right now, he's listed as 19th in the pits. Has been there for 20 minutes. So, yeah, that's probably something that we totally missed. But, yeah, I mean, again.
He's not going to like this any, but we'll go back and find out what he did here.
Oh, that's rubbing salt into the wound.
See what happened here. Did he drop a wheel? Oh, no. He just turns in and the back end comes around. It's a little bit of oversteer before going into the S's in the Thunder Valley.
And we also lost Connor Paris at some point.
Larson livery report with 17 to go. Brendan Lichtenberg, the hyperstar. He is up in the 13th now, trying to drive to recover everything he lost at the start. Remember, Brendan started 11th and had a moment going into, coming out of, actually, the keyhole on lap 1.
Yeah, I went all the way back to, I think it was 25th. So to recover all the way to 13th, that's pretty remarkable. And he's been fast as well. Another former pro driver, by the way.
Yeah, he was one of the fastest 33. He qualified. And how do you troll people without telling you troll people? Well, you get yourself into a Larson livery. That's what I think it's great. I'm laughing at it. I'm not calling him a troll. I think it's hilarious. But he is currently in 13th spot. Andrew Wood, I think, kind of one of the teammates, associated teammates. I think they, the I5Gs and the Power Slide guys, kind of work together. And Andrew Wood's back in 14th. He's up 9. He started toward the tail end of the field. Back up front, there is your leader, PK. Still looking for his final pit stop here very shortly. He is 20 laps into his run. Same thing with Jacob Oster, 20 laps into his run. Kevin Burrell, 8 laps into his run. So we might see a possible change for the lead when second and third, or P1 and P2 actually come in to the pits, and third might get this drop on him. And here comes PK to pit road right now. So he goes wide. Oh, he clips the grass. He slides into the cones. He slides into the cone area. Doesn't touch anything, but that's going to slow him down on pit road a little bit.
See how long it takes. I imagine that Burrell's going to inherit the lead, and it's going to maybe feel like a 10-second difference, and then we'll see how fast these brand new alternate tires are. As here he goes.
And there
Burrell
goes Kevin. Kraus coming out now with just enough fuel and fresh red tires. So we're going to see Red Bull laps incoming. Red Bull laps incoming. Red alert. Here we go. And Hunter Ingraham up to third.
I would have imagined that the gap was going to be a little bigger. It's only 3 seconds between Burrell and Kraus.
Yeah, Kraus, 8.3 in the box. 26.4 on the lane. Even with that little bit of a lockup coming to the cones.
Yeah, so there you go. We were thinking it was going to be a 30-second pit lane. Oh, well. Take 4 seconds off of that. That brings us to that 4-second difference between them right now. He still needs to get these tires up to speed, though. Enter Ingrave now pitting.
And he locks his tires up coming to pit road, very much like Kraus did, but a little bit more distance between himself and the wall on that one. He comes in for his final stop.
And something else that we didn't mention, Oster managed to get in front of the Desnoyers there.
And Desnoyers right on his attenuator. Desnoyers, though, 9 laps into his run, so not as fresh tires as Jacob is with those nice, fresh red tires and light tank.
Yeah, and it looks like Oster also did what PK did, and so he has a set of alternates to end the race, so that's going to be really beneficial for him. Should be able to get away from the Desnoyers.
Okay, so we're looking in chat, and Liquid Cheese says Kraus hit a lap car and took him out. So Liquid Cheese, not sure who he is in the real name. We could look that up. We could check that out if you tell us what lap it was on. We can go back and take a look at that if there was contact with Phil Kraus. That might explain the 18-second pit stop. He might have had damage. That was that previous stop.
Yeah, maybe damage. That's Ethan Nagan just spun in front of Phil Kraus.
Ethan back under power. I think Ethan, he is fresh off pit road, so cold tires have come back and bit him a little bit.
They have been the Achilles heel of everybody. Again, this place is treacherous. I mean, so many places where the weight transfers from one place to another. Tires are screaming for dear life most of the time.
Yeah, and I think they spend just as much time off the ground as they do on the ground.
That is probably true. All right, so last time by, Kevin Burrell 108.4, Phil Kraus 107.3.
Here is lap 55 for Phil Kraus. I'm not sure what happened. No, that's just him coming off a pit road. Yeah, I don't know what lap that happened. We would have to be told and go back and take a look at it, but we'll show it if we know it. Burrell, your leader, but Kraus now 0.8 of a second back. 10 to go. I don't know. I'm just feeling the Jaws music right now.
I was thinking that in my head.
I just don't know if there's. I know Kevin Burrell has a talent. I know he could definitely, but I just don't think there's the time there.
It almost sounded like Kraus on the throttle pedal was trying to do the Jaws music through the carousel. So he might know what we're thinking.
Gonna need a bigger boat. Here we
He's
go.
there now. Great run here.
Both on the button.
Burrell
Stay
going
to the
defensive, as he
inside.
should.
Oh. And just the braking zone.
Man.
And just the newer tires and the ability to just dive that much deeper into the turn with under braking and still have all of that adhesion and all of that grip. That's what did it right there. And that, I believe, now we still have 11 laps to go. I don't want to crown the champion yet, but that might have been the pass for the win.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy how much more speed you can carry and how much later you can brake with the, with the alternate tires. You can see the difference there. It's that was a great pass. Now we'll see if Oster is able to close in on Burrell. He has been very fast, even faster than Field Krause the last couple of laps. He's 4 seconds behind, or rather 3 seconds behind Burrell, so I think he has enough time.
He's got time. Oh, yeah, for sure.
So let's reset the field after a little bit. That's Field Krause. He's currently leading. You have Kevin Burrell running P2. Jacob Oster is P3. Kevin Snoyer is running 4th. Blaise Andrick running 5th. Hunter Ingrave is 6th. You have Logan Edwards running 7th and Anna Klemick running 8th. Those are your lead lap cars, although Anna is about to go lap down. Then we have Ethan Agan running 9th and Kevin Buhalasa running 10th. That's your top 10. Also, Klemick just went a lap down.
And we're back to the top 7, still on the lead lap. And really, there are no... We've reached that point in the race, as we typically do, where there's kind of no close battles on the racetrack. But do want to remind everybody, in December, P1 Broadcasting becomes a primetime home for Happy Hour at the Brickyard, your nightly destination for all the action leading up to the prestigious PRI Hoosier 500, the last kiss of the bricks for 2025. We're just going to start right here. The countdown is on, so everybody pucker up and don't miss a second of the action. Like, share, and subscribe to stay locked in, and we will see you at Indianapolis for the last time in this calendar year in December for the PRI Hoosier 500 and the practice leading up to the big race. 9 to go. Go ahead.
No, I'm watching Phil. He's using every inch of the track. I think he's going for a purple lap. Not sure if he has
107.5
left in those tires, though.
107.5 last time. A 107.2 is his best lap of the day.
Yeah, and the fastest lap still belongs to Jacob Oster with a 107.1. Yeah, I don't think he has enough, tire life left in there. But he was certainly trying.
Let's check the gap.
Well, now going back to P2 and P3, Jacob Oster is still 2.7 seconds behind Kevin Burrell, so not a lot of difference between them both. Not a lot of, Burrell might be able to keep this one, especially because, these tires will degrade the alternate ones. So I don't know. There's still a possibility that Kevin is able to hold on to that P2.
And once again, if you're just joining us, you are watching P1's coverage of the IIS Saturday Top Split Special Wednesday presentation presented by 4D Racewear. Coming to you from Mid-Ohio, we're currently PK. Phil Kraus is your leader with 7 laps to go. Thanks for joining us. Make sure to smash the like button, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on the next race. The next race for us here in the IIS next Saturday, July 12th at 2 p.m. Eastern as we return back to the Saturday 2 p.m. time slot for the remainder of the season. As the series returns to oval racing at Iowa Speedway, coverage starts at 2 p.m. Eastern. Don't miss it. Make a note of it, and we will see you there. Iowa Speedway, the world's fastest short track.
There's a battle brewing here between Thomas Vankirk and Brendan Lichtenberg, the Hyperstar. That's for P13. But yeah, I mean, happy that we're gonna go heading back to Iowa. Corn territory. It's such a fun and fast racetrack.
And that's a new scan of the racetrack too, so it's going to be a slightly different race that we've seen before.
Oh yeah.
We understand that there's a lot more grip in the corners now, and passing at a track that's pretty challenging to pass out already is now all of a sudden a lot harder because everyone's so much faster through the corners.
Oh man, yeah.
You're like,
I'm not looking forward to racing it. I am looking forward to calling the action, but not necessarily racing it. How about you, Jacob? You like those short ovals?
Well, I think that they've kind of nuked Iowa to where it's more like how Bristol used to be back in the day in the NASCAR side of things, right? It's everybody runs the bottom or you die. So
Yeah.
we'll see how that kind of pans out, but I imagine we'll see a lot of very, very hard driving on the bottom and lap traffic playing a much bigger factor than even it has historically.
Yeah, it was a ton of fun when we could run the very top and multiple lanes were viable. That's I don't think that's going to happen anymore. As Lichtenberg is taking a look here at Vankirk. Not Lewis in this.
And as anybody who's raced me at Iowa knows, I love the wall. I will run as close as I can every lap against that wall, but I don't think I'm going to be able to do that anymore. That makes me sad.
I mean, I guess you still can. It's just not going to be effective.
You can do what you want, just how well you want to perform.
Those are the other cars?
I guess for a change, I'm finally looking forward to Nashville Super Speedway if we get the aero package that we want.
I think they've at least got the correct one on it now.
Yeah.
I remember when it first came out, I was like excited. A new super speedway. We're not, there's not very many super speedways in this world that we're going to get, on this service. And I remember getting it and coming, this is historical Indy Racing League track. I'm going to try it out. And the first laps are like, this car drives. This sucks. This is not good. Van Kirk blinking in front of Lichtenberg. He dives to the inside, and I think he allows Lichtenberg on by. So move Brendan up to 13th. Lucky 13.
Yeah, I think he realized that there was a little bit of a problem with his connection and decided to let Brendan by, which, it's a gentlemanly thing to do, but robs us of a battle.
I don't think that might be it. Right now, Kraus is pulled away to a 5-second lead over Burrell. Remember, Burrell picked up the lead and had himself about a 3.5 second lead after the pit stops were complete. And Kraus just ran him down.
Well, it might not be all of it. Jacob Oster has managed to get that gap under a second now between himself and Kevin Burrell. Coming to 3 to go for them.
Nope. Careful. Almost dipped those tires off. Getting ready to enter the carousel area.
And it looks like on the push pass situation, Burrell has a tiny advantage, although he uses a couple seconds there, and now they're tied. 33 seconds apiece. Both in bottom right now.
21 for Kraus. More than enough to use over the next couple of laps. Burrell 25, Oster 24, Desnoyers 25, Andrich 27. Hunter Ingrave has used the button. He's found it. He has 92 seconds left. Edwards at 9 before he is Winchester. Klimek at 80. Egan at 116. I mean, he might as well. He must be in a position where he just was never really could use it, because you can't take him with you to the next race. That's for sure.
Be a lot cooler if you could.
It would be. It looks like people with the old rollover minutes and cell phones. Oh, I didn't talk that much. I didn't talk that much this month. I get 100 free minutes next month for not talking this. Could you imagine if we get carried? Oh wow! Kraus just dives to the inside of Thomas Van Kirk. That looked a lot closer to probably what it really was. Could you imagine, though, if you could budget your push to pass to take to the next race? That would be something interesting.
Well, imagine having like the entire seasons of road courses at Portland and just being able to ham the button everywhere. Never get off of it.
I'm sure I would wreck.
Just a little more than a lap and a half to go here.
Yeah, and half a second between Burrell and Oster. I don't know. 16 seconds left on the bottom for Burrell, 15 for Oster as Phil Kraus gets the white flag. Last lap. Here we go.
Kraus comfortably out. Just needs to finish this last 2.25 mile circuit to get the win. Burrell hanging on and looking to try to extend his points lead in a race that didn't feature P2 in the championship or P3. Although this is the first time slot of the week. Doing his best to capitalize and get a podium finish out of it. But he's being dogged right now by Jacob Oster. Meanwhile, just in front, through the S's into the Thunder Valley. Just in front of him is Logan Edwards. Does PK show a little mercy to Logan and not pass him and put him a lap down? That's for 7th position right there.
I think he will.
I think he's going to show mercy.
Well, to be fair, you're past there.
It is. PK gets the win. Kevin Burrell off the final corner. He will secure 2nd. Jacob Oster in 3rd. Kevin Desnoyers does a good job at recovery. Best he can do is 4th after leading the opening stages of this race. Blaze Andrich, we talked about him as he's getting ready to finish his lap. And he's right in front of his teammate, Hunter Ingrave. Blaze is going to come home with a top 5. Hunter Ingrave with a good finish himself. He comes home with the top 10, inside the top 10 with the top 6. Logan Edwards, there we see him finishing his lap. Just ahead of the Hyperstar, who currently is in 13th, 1 lap down, but Logan Edwards will come home, be the final car on the lead lap in 7th.
Yeah, both Blaze Andrick and Hunter Ingrave were there the entire race in the top 6, 7 positions. So kudos to them. That's great racing.
And Logan looking to pad his top 10 position in the standings, and he gets himself a good top 10 finish here at Mid-Ohio. And here are your final results here from Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. Phil Kraus with the win. Wow. And he beats Kevin Burrell by 6.666 seconds. Jacob Oster is in 3rd. So a good week for Jacob here on the channel. A win and another podium. Desnoyers 4th, Blaze Andrich 5th. Hunter Ingrave in 6th. Logan Edwards 7th. Anna Klimek in 8th. Anna had herself a good race. Ethan Egan in the top 10 all day in 9th. And Kevin Brualasa We talked about him on a number of times, just probably mainly by butchering his name. He finished 7 spots better. Not quite the biggest gainer of the day, but still a productive day for him and getting inside the top 10. Ruiz in 11th. Ruiz along with Wood in 12th are your biggest gainers of the day. In fact, there's 3 big gainers of the day. Ruiz and Wood up 11 spots. Brendan Lichtenberg in 13th. Thomas Van Kirk 14th. Matt Taylor getting through that first turn, first lap incident, comes home 15th. Langenberg in 16th. Fitzner 17th. Shady Ahmed 18th. Brophy 19th. And the real deal, Jonesyfield. He is in 24th, and Langenberg also 11 spots improved on this day. So good day for Langenberg. Moving on, Barbosa in 21st, Parisi 22nd, Bartolowicz in 23rd, Morris 24th, Weiser 25th, Brashear 26th, and Gomez C 27th.
A lot of attrition.
A lot of attrition, but that's kind of how these races go. Sometimes they are so long. 90 laps. I mean, 90 laps here is a long, long race.
Sure is.
And we will ask PK what happened. Supposedly, something happened on the race course. I will ask him what happened there. Maybe he can recall that. But let's see. We're going to get some replays queued up here, and then we'll get into the interview room if anybody wants to talk to us. I know I call it a school night. You know, people might have to work in the morning, so it is 11 o'clock Eastern time.
We have them all. We have Jacob, we have General, and we have PK here.
Okay. Need to queue up some replays. All right. We'll dip into the room here and bring on Jacob into the. Here he is, Jacob Collins and Jacob Oster and Tony Estrada. We got us all now. Okay, good. Jacob Oster here. Good week for you, Jacob, here on the channel. A win yesterday, a podium here today. A good run. Talk about your race. A bit of I would say it's a challenging race. A lot of people don't realize how hard 90 laps here at this place is.
Well, I lost 12 seconds on one lap because I probably should be dead, but I spun in Thunder Valley, so yeah. That's how the race went.
We missed that one, so it never happened. But, I mean, I'd talk about the rest of your race. I mean, you still managed to get a podium, and you were racing there for second there at the end when you're on a slightly, I would probably say a slightly better tire strategy than what Kevin was on. But he just had a big margin in front of you when you got those new sets of tires, kind of ran out of time. But talk about running him down in the final stages, getting the podium here. A pretty productive day overall, I guess.
Yeah, there was a couple laps there in the middle where I was just running 7.9s over and over and over again. And honestly, that's what kind of cost me because I really should have been running like 3 to 4 tenths faster those laps because I was in clean air. But, you know, it was fun to chase him down because like I knew that I really should have been way ahead. But I was just trying to get everything I could because this is my favorite track. This is my favorite combo. And I will always show up for this.
What about this track makes it your favorite track?
I don't know. It's just like it's a great mixture of like really high speed commitment corners and then some small technical ones that you have to like do a lot of trail braking for and just kind of set the nose of the car. And it's really increased my setup envelope, this track, especially whenever pros came here in Pro Q and in Pro Series. So it's helped me improve a lot as a driver. And that's one reason I really like it.
Shout outs, friends, family, sponsors finishing third today.
Well, thanks to everyone, Phil and Jason and Trano and Rob and Matt for telling me to keep calm and try and go as fast as I can to get Kevin at the end. I had like 6 people watching me, but it's always a good time when you can run a long race like this and see what pans out.
Congratulations on another podium this week on the channel. Have yourself a good and safe holiday, and we'll catch you at the next race.
All right, thank you guys.
Keep calm and turn left or turn right. A very effective strategy for sure. Let's get Kevin Burrell, who marches himself into another podium here. And here is Kevin. Kevin, another week, another podium. Not the highest strength of field. You might see a higher one this weekend. It might be a tough call. I don't know who all is going to be racing on a holiday weekend here in the United States. But talk about your race. Led late, but the tire strategy, it looks like what PK decided to choose on was the way to go there.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it's I probably should have stayed out longer on the first stint. The tires just when I had those guys behind me, I pushed really hard, and like by lap 18, it was at the point where like in all the slow corners, the rear was basically just coming around, and I was like, okay, well, like I can stay out 4 more laps and get passed by them and probably wreck, or I can just accept it, and then just I'm gonna have to accept that the other 2 stints are gonna have to be slightly longer. And I mean, I don't know how much that really cost me, but it's better than dying. So we'll take that, I guess. I mean, the rears were just so bad on the alts. The prime pace was awesome, but the alts were very scary at the end of the stint. So yeah, I don't know.
Well, sometimes champions are crowned by valor. Other times champions are crowned by discretion, and currently you are still the points leader in the series, and discretion was the strategy choice today by hitting pit road early, and it might have cost you late, but still you finished second. A good productive day for you. A little bit of a rough day for the team. Desnoyers had a bit of a incident coming off of pit road, but you were able to at least recover a little bit for the team and for yourself with the P2 here today.
Yeah, I mean, I felt like I had pretty good qual pace this week, maybe, but in the end, the race is just so like I'm just not good enough at keeping the rear from every little slide that you have is just destroys the rest of your stint. Even worse on the alts, and it was just very hard for me to keep it going. I think if I'd driven the way I did maybe in stint 2 and 3 right from the start, it might have been a little better, but. Yeah, it was very tough, and I don't know, it's a hard track, and I feel like it's even harder post the update, to be honest. We got more downforce, but somehow the tires, and especially the alts, when you come out of the pits, it's like just understeer off into the grass. I mean, it's insane. So, yeah, it is what it is, but I mean, I got to the end, and P2, we'll take it for now, I guess.
Shout outs, friends, family, sponsors. Anybody want to say hi to before we let you go?
Yeah, of course, the Frisbee Forward guys and P1 Docs. So, yeah, I mean, we had a pretty solid set this week. I wasn't 100% certain how awesome it was going to be. Just it's hard to tell on your own. It's always hard to tell. You never know what other people are cooking. But yeah, of course, to my parents, everybody, and yeah, I'm looking forward to Iowa, which is going to be absolutely insane. I don't know if you've heard from anyone. It's going to be very crazy. The new track surface is like just wrecking on the exit every single lap at the seam between the old and new surface. So that'll be interesting. So it'll be very interesting to see who survives the full race there. I'll put it that way.
Well, have a good remainder of your Thursday where you're in Japan.
Yes,
so I can enjoy the rest of your day. You are one day closer to the weekend than the rest of us, so that makes us jealous. But have yourself a good one. I'm sure you'll be in other races this week, so maybe get a chance to improve on the strength of field and result. But congratulations on the P2 today, and we will catch you next week, actually, when we go to Iowa.
Cool. See you then. Cheers.
Yeah. And let's bring up Phil Kraus, and here he is. And PK is joining us here with the win. First thing first, the strategy, obviously, going as late as possible, going with the red tires and then light tanks, allowed you to kind of run down Kevin and make and it's hard enough to pass around here as it is, made it a little bit easier to pass him with all the situation that you kind of gave yourself a good hand there. And getting the win, talk about running down Kevin there in the final stages and getting that pass for the win.
There wasn't really too much to it, to be honest. The car with the fresh reds compared to where he was on the primaries, because he was just smack bang in the middle of the stint, kind of meant that I had about an 8 to 9/10 of a second pace advantage at that time, so there wasn't really much he could have done unless he managed to hold me off for like 10 laps, which is... It's hard to pass here, but it's borderline impossible.
Yeah. Yeah, we wasn't sure if there was enough time for him to do that. And again, I was just kind of joking. I was wondering if he was hearing the Jaws music in the back of his head there as you got closer and closer and closer. You had some pretty good battles on the racetrack with a number of drivers. Specifically, I remember watching the battle with Blaze Andrich and you. What do you recall specifically about that battle? That was a pretty hefty battle that you finally got by, but not without a bunch of work.
I just lacked pace in turn 1 compared to Kevin and Blaze, so it's hard to set anything up through the keyhole, really. So it was definitely a hard move in China Beach to get by him, because he broke super late, and I just had to hang around the outside and hope I kept just enough of a nose alongside to force him on the wide line for turn 5, I think it is. I don't know. I always forget the left, but yeah, that ended up working out. It was like the 4th try, I think, 3rd try. I don't remember.
We saw in chat, someone said that there was some contact with you at some point in the race. Did you have contact with the driver at some point, another car at some point in the race? And did that add to that 18-second pit stop that you had?
It did not add to the 18-second pit stop, but yes, I did have contact with someone. I just gave myself like a little self-imposed by IndyCar 10-second time penalty on that pit stop, because I bonked him right before the carousel on lap 53 or something, I think.
Okay.
But yeah.
Yeah, we couldn't go back and find it.
They
but
broke really early, and I could not have predicted it, but yeah, it happened sometimes.
We couldn't find it, and but we did realize that you had an 18-second pit stop, and we're not really sure why. Initially when we saw the pit stop, what the 18 seconds was for, unless we were thinking possibly something forgot to get checked, or that you're making major aero changes or something. We weren't quite sure, and then we saw the report in chat about possibly contact and then maybe damage. So that's okay. That all kind of adds up a little bit. Well, win for you, and a pretty convincing one. Congratulations on that. Any shout outs, any friends, family, sponsors, anyone you want to say hi to? I know you're probably working with a great deal of guys. It sounds like it, talking with Jacob.
Just everyone motorsports per usual. Put together great cars week in, week out, and like I said, every time I'm up here, this wouldn't be possible without them.
All right, well, congratulations on the win. Have yourself a safe and happy holiday weekend, and we'll catch you at the next one, whatever that is.
Yep, cheers. You too.
And also joining us in the booth before we get the final thoughts from our commentators is Justin Petschauer. Justin, you were in Split 2. How'd it go?
Well, breaking news, ladies and gentlemen. I did not get knocked off the track by any idiots tonight. So that's a miracle. In other news, Gabby Chavez starts second, wins the race.
Real world IndyCar driver in Split 2. Hard to believe that. A real world IndyCar driver only in Split 2, but he gets the win. And how was your finish?
Played the long strat on the first stop, and it actually worked out. We started 25th out of 27 cars. One didn't show up, so technically 26th. But we finished where our car number was, and that was car number 14. So all in all, just 3 off tracks, mainly for landscaping purposes, as well as just accidentally throwing out some kitty litter out on the track in madness. But other than that, my feet are cramping. I'm going to go relax in a nice cold bath, and I'm going to enjoy the rest of the weekend. I'm going to go out to my local short track tomorrow night and enjoy some short track racing shenanigans. since that's their last one until the middle of August, mainly because it gets hot as hell here in the Mojave Desert of Las Vegas. And right about now, we are literally in our monsoon season, and our monsoon is very, very unpredictable, which was the case earlier today. And within probably the next 2 or so hours, yeah. Other than that, I am looking forward to Iowa. Iowa is going to be an absolute crap fest because of what Kevin said. Coming off of the corner, especially off of turn 2 now with the can you call it a half-assed repave job by NASCAR at Iowa Speedway? I think you can. It's going to be interesting to see what happens in that race with it being a full distance. It's probably going to be a caution fest in some splits. I don't know about top split. Maybe, maybe not. We'll have to see. But other than that, I am looking forward to it and seeing where the rest of the season goes. I mean, we only got a handful of races left, so it's going to be interesting to see.
That is your IIS ambassador, Justin Petschauer, with the second split report, finished in the mid-pack, and managed to survive. Final thoughts, Jacob Collins, Tonio Estrada. Jacob, leading off with you. A little bit of a battle there at the end, but kind of Phil made it in a way that it was going to be kind of a no contest at the end. A 6-second lead. Might as well been 6 miles or 6 laps. So with the way that he kind of pulled away, secures the win. But a good points day for Kevin Burrell, finishing second and maintaining his lead in the championship. And at the grand scheme of things, I guess if you can't win, is just do better than your chief competition in the race. And that is probably the next best thing.
Yeah, I mean, it was at least interesting to see kind of the strategies converge come the end there. There was at least an odds-out chance of somebody kind of pulling out the sneaky undercut, and Kevin Burrell with the prime tires just maybe not being quite as strong as the alternates come the end of the race there. But it's always fun to see the long race have what a long race can offer and the differing tire and pit strategies. So we got ourselves a good one, as Mid-Ohio tends to produce. So hopefully that kind of continues as we move to Iowa.
Antonio, another 90 lapper in the books for this season. They add these extra races, so extra laps in these races, not to wear us out as sim racers. I think just to keep Scott Dixon out of victory lane, I think is the main reason. But we are done with Mid-Ohio for now, and now we move on to the world's fastest short racing oval. At Iowa Speedway. So it sounds like a lot of people are intrepid, maybe a little bit of intrepidation. That's what I'm trying to say about getting to the new kind of the new scan of Iowa.
Yeah. I mean, I guess we'll find out when we're there. But yeah, from the early testing and what the guys were mentioning, it's gonna be a challenge. And I'm looking forward to that. I'm sure that the guys are not necessarily looking that forward to it because it's going to be tough. And again, me as a driver, I'm not really looking forward to driving on Iowa, but as a commentator, I sure am. So yeah, I mean, we had, at the end of the day, I think we ended up with a great race here at Mid-Ohio. I mean, it typically gets much more strung out, and we had battles pretty much the entire race until the very last few laps where the field kind of settled into a position. But from some other races that we might have seen here, I think this was actually really, really good. Now we know why Phil Krause had to or stopped a little bit longer on the pit stop, on that pit stop that he took 18 seconds, and that made it even more interesting, because otherwise he would have run away with it a little earlier. But yeah, overall, it's always a blast to be part of the booth here for the IAS, and yeah, looking forward to Iowa.
Well, thanks for being here, and Jacob, of course, thanks for the pinch hitting duties. We will get Ryan Skywalker back next Saturday when we head over to Iowa. Let's get everyone out of here, give everyone back their Wednesday nights. There are two things in this world that I love: IndyCar racing, and of course, I love wrestling. And there was a big match tonight between Kazuchika Okada and Kota Ibushi. So I want to go watch that after this. But it shows what I love more. I love IndyCar racing more. So that's why we're here, and that's why we're not doing a race on Friday night. I'm not going to do a race on Friday night, not on July 4th weekend. You kidding me? Kidding me? No way. Let's get on out of here. Give everyone back their evenings. That's it for today. Once again, your podium here from Mid-Ohio. PK with another win here on the top split. Kevin Burrell, another podium here on the top split. And Jacob Oster, another podium here on the channel. Comes home in third. Second time this week on the podium here on the channel. Just in 2 days. Join us again Saturday, July 12th at 2 p.m. Eastern Time for round 11 of the 2025 campaign as the teams of drivers head to the world's fastest short track, Iowa Speedway. Coverage starts at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. Again, that's 2:00 p.m. Eastern. As always, for the correct broadcast time in your area, you can find everything here on YouTube at youtube.com/@P1Broadcasting. Hey, we love bringing these races to you, but not easy. It requires time and money to produce. If you share our passion for the sport of IndyCar and enjoyed our coverage of the IndyCar iRacing Series, please take time to visit our GoFundMe page. The link is in the description, and donate to our 2025 broadcast fund. We realize times are tough, so any contribution will be greatly appreciated. We thank you for watching and making us part of your YouTube viewing during NTT IndyCar Race Weeks. Now, as you know, the YouTube algorithm game is not an easy one, so please help support P1 with the weekly grind. Leave a comment below. Let us know your thoughts on today's race. And if you enjoyed tonight's coverage, support us by smashing like in the video. If you're new, click subscribe. And while you're at it, hit the bell for weekly reminders so don't miss out on more of P1's other iRacing programming, including the returns of our IndyCar doubleheader Mondays for the rest of July. Catch the iRacing IndyCar Open Series on Monday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern, followed by the Sim Gaming Expo ISRA Open Wheel Series at 9:35 p.m. Eastern. If you like IndyCar racing, and we know you do, make P1 your home on Monday nights for the rest of July. P1's IndyCar iRacing Series Saturday Top Split coverage and Wednesday coverage is sponsored by 4D Racewear. Check out their line of made-for-sim racing gloves, shoes, and apparel. Visit them today at 4dracewear.com or click on the link in the description. Track cams for this race are provided by Whiplash Sim Cams. Get the most out of your iRacing experience with Whiplash Sim Cams. To learn more about Whiplash, like them on Facebook or follow them on X and Instagram. All the links you need are in the description for business inquiries. To learn more about P1 and what we do, like us on Facebook. You can follow us on X and Instagram, and you can follow all of our social links on Linktree. And again, all the links you need are in the description. So for El Patron, Antonio Estrada, Jacob Collins, Ryan Skywalker, who's not here tonight but will be back, Justin Petshower, everyone here at P1 and 4D. I'm Gary Gatto saying all thanks for watching, and all of our men and women serving in the military and in first responders. Godspeed, God bless, and come home safe. Make sure to catch the real stars and cars of the NTT IndyCar Series this Sunday, July 6th at 1 p.m. Eastern Time on Fox for the Honda Indy 200 at Mid-Ohio. Follow all the action on your local Fox affiliate or on the Fox app or on the IndyCar Live app if you're outside of America. Or just join Mark Janes and the gang on IndyCar Radio on Sirius XM Channel 215. Be sure to check your local listings for the correct broadcast times and station in your area. You can catch us again Saturday, July 12th at 2 p.m. Eastern at Iowa Speedway for the next race of the IndyCar iRacing Series Saturday Top Split right here on P1. Happy Canada Day, happy 4th of July, and everyone have a safe and responsible holiday.